Hi, good morning. This is Sailesh here from group number three, and on behalf of my team, I'm submitting a presentation on assignment given to us regarding data analysis of one of the topics. So our topic, what we have selected is online detailed data set among all 14 topics. So initially, what we have done before proceeding for the EDA, we have conducted pre-processing data. So in that, what we have done is we have find out missing values from data set, and we found that customer ID and description has some missing values, and customer ID is having 1,40,000 nearby missing value, which is not recommended to replace with more because it may give us a wrong interpretation and wrong analysis. So finally, we have dropped these row observations from customer IDs and descriptions. So finally, we are left with 3,97,000 observations out of this 5,41,000 observations. After that, we have split the data depending upon the scenario because we have seen that two scenarios are there when where first scenario in which sales has grown positively and give us a business, and in the second case where the product was rejected or maybe returned by customers, so negative scenarios. And clubbing these two scenarios, we have created one kind of analysis and to the multiple dashboard. So here we are moving ahead. So initially, to understand the business pattern, how the business has moved over the period of time, we have we are just seeing the total data set, and here we found that the data is given for the year of 2010 and 11. In 2010, we found that data of only December month is given, so that is not enough for comparing this year-wise. So what we have decided to drop this December columns, and we have done analysis for the January to November month. In this analysis, we wanted to see the sales happening across the country, and we found that United Kingdom has the most sell happened in this country, and most of the transaction happened in this country. Now, if you see the all over scenarios, the plot is showing that the total scenario in which the sell has grown, and gradually from 0.57 million to 1.16 million in November. At the mid of February and at the mid of April, the sales has dropped. Even if you see the pattern of these transactions or the billing, and we see that day-wise also it has increased, and the frequency or the most of transaction has happened only in the weekdays. We have seen a list of or very low transaction is happening on Sunday. Further, we also try to see how the customer has increased over the period of time. So we found that in January the customer number was 741, and which has gone drastically up in November, and the total customer has increased by 100%. And even the same thing, we can see that number of customer or transaction done by the customer is highest on Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, followed by other day. And on the Sunday again, we can see that the transaction is low. This scenario is that country-wise, if we see United Kingdom is the top country who is giving us a business. So if we just want to see that how this country has given us a business, then we can find that every month it has given us a business, and the total volume which was sold in UK was 6.3 million. And even if we just want to see the customer, then customer has customer bank has significantly improved here, and further day-wise transaction is the more transaction is happening day-wise only. On week off days, nothing is like the transactions are very low. Further, the other country also has contributed for the sales. So Netherlands, Germany, France, descending onto we can see the sale is happening, but comparatively they are very low. Further, we want to understand how this price is playing role in our business. Then we just try to see that how this total average price and total quantity is affecting the bill. So over the period of time, we have seen that the price of the average price of the bill has improved in the month of May. Further, it decreased means the customer who has bought items, maybe the price of the item is lower than comparing from the month Jan to May. So this average price of the bill is down from May to September, and further it started increasing in month of May, October, and November. But in other context, if you see the quantity has drastically goes up, and in combined effect, it has given us a business. So the sale has started happening from 0.57 million in January, and it has improved over the period of time. And in November, it was highest 1.16 million. Further, if you see this complete scenario by country wise, then again UK was the one who has contributed a lot, and so on these basis we can understand that special attention has to be given to the United States, so we can increase and we can anticipate more sales in future. Further, to proceed, we have tried to do here a customer retention analysis. So in this analysis, we try to find out a customer segment or the top customers who are more buying or have a based on the billing amount. We have just tried to figure out, and we found that most of these customers are have done highest transaction. So based on that, we have just ranked them. So first one, if we just try to understand their frequency, is it a single sort buying, or they are doing multiple transactions, or how frequently they are buying our items throughout the year. So by selecting them, we understand that the customer number 14646 has frequently transactions, and he is the frequent buyer on our online retail. And again, if you see, try to see the price and quantity. So the price of the item which he is buying, the price of the items which is buying is has improved over the period of time. That is good. That the price of item is benefiting to us. And in the terms of quantity, depending upon his need, he has bought the items, and the quantity is changing over the period depending upon his need. But this plot shows that the customer's transaction. So the customer has done the highest transaction in the month of September. Further, the transaction was similar in the month of October also, and it reduced in the month of November. So this is the complete transaction-wise, customer-wise details, how the customer has the frequency of customer, and based on this data, if we just try to find out top customers, then this is the data where from which we can derive that this kind of customers need special attention because they have contributed, they are a frequent, they are a frequent buyer from our online transactions. So they need special attentions for them. We can do discount, we can do some reward kind of schemes, we can give them some privilege. So they are they should be remain buying from our website. Now again, one more example about customer number 18102. He has done transaction 259,000. So he is again found a frequent buyer, and his transactions are he has done 431 transactions, and in a month if you see he's doing transaction every after 10 days, even every month he has done some transactions, and his purchase trend, if I see, then he has done maximum transaction in month of June, then in the month of September, then in the month of October, and then in the month of December also he has done high transactions. And this customer is so-called whatever he has bought altogether, the items average price is also increased over the period of time, and quantity also increased. So in terms of this kind of impact, we have gone the business. We have the business has increased. Again, one more customer. So this is the way like we can find out the transaction pattern of the customers throughout the years and how they are benefiting to us. For them, special attentions are needed. So based on the profit and based on the analysis, we can find that this top 50 or 100 customer can be given a special privilege. It is again a policy call that we can define a rule for them and to retain them for the longer time. Next slide is showing about the product-based analysis. So here we try to understand that how a product is playing crucial role in our system. This will also help us to retain inventory balances and also try to find out the dead stocks. So based on the billings, we try to find out the item which are sold most. So in our cases, the product which is called Regency cake stain. If we just try to understand the trend, then we find that this is the most sold item in our case. and this item is in demand from January to November, and also the country wise, if you see then UK was first to handle or buy this items and followed by other countries. And finally, the price we see. So the price of these items has increased gradually over the period of time, but the quantity remained little low. So this may be reason like that, because of the price increase and quantity reduced by a certain amount. But this analysis can be done further based on the data available with us. That what is the reason why this quantity is getting low, and is it a reason, or does the price is playing role here? Accordingly, we can also find out item-wise details of another items like white hanging heart key light holders, which also was frequent demand, which was like having the demand in market for the long time throughout the years. Again, the price has increased after some time, and this item also, the quantity of the item was having a little bit of a frequency, so we can't conclude anything that how it is it forming any trend or not. Here, more items are there which can be selected and can be seen that these top items were having the frequent demand or not. So one of the item which is called medium ceramic top storage is likely the demand of this item was reduced drastically in other month. It was highest in the month of January, but further after the May to the month of June, the price of the total sales of this item has reduced, and the reason we could see that the total price was initial price was 1.04, and then further it was increased by 1.24. So that means that either a demand has decreased, or maybe because of the price has increased and the demand has decreased. So this kind of combinations can be think, and further call be taken accordingly. Further, we want to see how the thing is happening for the customer who returned the items based on the product. So this analysis is helping us based on the tree map. We try to find out the top customers who has done the negative transactions in the terms they have returned the items. So the based on the total return quantity, we have identified those customers who have returned the items. The analysis will help us to understand that how is it the kind of return pattern is following by this customer is frequent or maybe a one shot. So based on this customer IDs, we are just trying to understand that how this item has returned. Is it a single shot or a multiple transaction was done? So this customer 12346 has done single transaction, and this transaction was having the 77,000 of total amount of bill, and he has transacted or cancelled this item in single shot. So it is single bill, and we can say that this may be a rare phenomena where this customer has returned the item. The most important part of these analysis to get the feedback from the client, because if we find out these group, those who have returned the items, then the majority of customers from these groups will be taken for the feedback, and we can understand their reason for the transactions, cancelled transactions is maybe because of the quality, or because of the lack of demand, or because of anything. But we will get some insight if we can get feedback from these parties or these clients to get further improvement. So the items or the stock can be maintained well, and we can avoid any chances of dead inventories with us. Further, if we try to understand that how the product which were cancelled, uh, highly cancelled, or bill wise having the high amount and both got cancelled, so we see that some of the items on the list which has negative transactions. So manually, if I just select one item called a manual, then we understand that this item has it is not one shot transaction. It is multiple transaction, means multiple customers from the different countries has rejected or has declined or returned the product because of some reasons, and this is happening throughout the year. So the matter of concern is that why this item, so-called manual, is returned by the customer. Is it an issue with the quality, price, or what? So further, we will try to dig information comparing the prices. So price in the January was 478 unit, and then it gradually increased in the month of June, and further it was remained same at the end of November and October and November. Doesn't mean that there is a much significant difference, but in month of June, the price has some kind of high hit. So a question comes that why this is happening here, and this is happening throughout the year. So this item is being detected by many customers from different countries. That comes in a serious concern of management that should this item to be kept continued in our inventory, or shall we stop uh, keeping this item because this item has tendency to get cancelled many of the times. Now, second item, just for example, we are taking medium ceramic top. So this medium ceramic top storage, if I see this item was cancelled in January, and the quantity was high, and the amount was 77,000. After that, this the the total bill was very low. Like return chances were low, and the billing was for only 249 units. We try to compare the price also. The price also increased by some amount, 25%, and it has it's not that frequent that it get returned by the got returned by the customer. So in our cases, this is maybe a single transaction. So which 10 transaction was done, but one was only the highest transaction, which causes this transaction on the higher side. So this is the way like we can understand how this product and client is playing a little role in terms of material transactions. So for the customer, we can take the feedback, and for the product, based on the feedback, for the product, we can check the qualities, or we can check the reason from the client that why they have rejected these items, and based on that, our inventory plan can be taken care of to avoid this kind of repetition in future. Further, we wanted to see just the total overall scenarios across the country and across the product. So this is the kind of details we can see through the plot that country-wise and product-wise, if we just try to understand the status of United Kingdom, which contributed a huge amount of sale for us, then also how this country is contributing in the return transactions. So we just found that the sale has increased over the period from January to December. It was 0.44 million to 0.98 million. So there is a progressive positive growth was there in the business and the transition from the customers of the United Kingdom. But again, if you just try to understand that return wise status, then it was large in month of January, but it has reduced. So customer wise means sold and return wise, if we see, then United Kingdom is the country where we need to pay attention because we are generating good business from these country. And further, if we want to see the price product, like which product were cancelled by them, so this is the list of the product, top product where this country the the people have returned the items. So again, regency was there, and items are there. So this is like that. Further, we want to see one more example, selecting one more company like Singapore or any country. So in this country, the transaction are very less, and return item. If you just try to understand that return item has once upon a time only. So in the month of April and in the month of this October only the item was returned by them in Singapore. And the same way, if we want to understand that for the return item, how the price and quantity is playing role. So once again, we select UK, and we found that the price, average price of the item which was sold and returned has no major impact. That means the price has an impact because if I see the price of item returned, then the average price is high in the month of June. And at that time, the price was high. And if I just want to see the quantity also, then in month of June, the quantity was 6,000 6,334. And further, this quantity was not significantly improved or affected. So the price of the item, of total items, is not area of concern here. What we can conclude. Again, we just wanted to see that how the customer bank has improved or decreased in the terms of decline transactions. So, for the positive transactions, where the item was purchased by customer has a positive trend, and if you just compare the return item, then the status remains same, not fluctuating much throughout the year. So it is ranging from the lower side, it is having some 117 transactions cancelled or customer has returned, and outside it is around 282. Further, we want to understand that how this complete transactions is affected by influencer. So in our cases, we have tried to analyze two segments where is product was sold and we generated business, and other side we have a written product. So we wanted to understand the reason behind what is influencing to increase the bill. So to increase the bill, we concluded that, or we find out that the sum of quantity, if it more than 34.26, so that is impacting bill amount of 43 units. In the terms, if we say that whatever bill quantity or the item quantity is more than wherever 34, more than 34, then definitely that bill is contributing to increase the bill. In the terms of saying that any quantity which is less than 34 is also affecting the quantity, the billing amount also. So for 34.26 quantity, the billing amount is 43.86, and this is the threshold of this is the threshold. So anything if happening more than this, if quantity is more than this, then we can say that our bill amount will be increased definitely. In the terms of we want to see that how this influencing our total bill to get decreased. So if our total quantity of bill per invoice is getting less than 34, then definitely our total volume will be decreased. And if the price of the product is less than 0.95, average price of the billed item is less than 0.95, then it is impacting the bill amount 13.66. So in this both cases, we can see the reasons are there for decreasing the total bill amount. We try to see this total trend through the segment also. So if you just see, this is the segment depending upon the average bill amount. So clicking on this is the segment where the bill amount is 11.96, which is contributing 5.7% of total data. But this is the reason why this total amount of total bill is getting down. In our cases, if the bill value is less than 0.95 and if the quantity is also less than 30 but greater than 15, then giving the size of bill 1197 and below, every bill is affecting our transactions in the downside. So to improve this, we can have some kind of scheme for the premium customer about customer any kind of discount scheme or any kind of reward scheme. So this will help us to improve the total bill quantity and the price of the product they want to go for. So this way we can understand and we can implement further policies for improving our tests. Further, we want to see what is impacting in the terms of return of the product. So our aim is to avoid returns, decrease the returns. In terms of that, we try to see that if the quantity of the return items are more than 1170, 1170, then it impacts the bill size 2.01. Means at this quantity, the bill will be going to be 2.08, 2000 unit. And in these cases, if the quantity is more than 1170, then the chances of returns are high. So we need to bring or enforce some policies. Definitely, this is going to be a call, management call. So in this case, we need to define that anything which is purchased more than this quantity or particular more than this billed amount, then in these cases, the return policy has to be binding of certain bindings that which will have a clause or rules that the customer cannot do the return transaction, because in these cases what happened, like because of the return transactions we face logistic issues, and sometimes return logistic also cause huge loss to the company. So in these cases the threshold is 1170 quantity, in the terms of quantity, and anything which is bought more than this quantity has to be looked into properly, and a policy has to be return policy has to be formed properly, that more than this quantity a return policy will not be accepted, kind of things. So this is the way we can understand, or we can find out how this return transaction can be reduced in future. So this is from our side, and thank you. So at the end, we want to say that for the premium customers, we need to define good policy for discounting, for reward announcing, or very kind of gifting policies for the customers who are doing high transactions. So based on the premium, the list of the premium customers, we must pay attention to these people. Thank you.